Hello, my friend, and welcome. We've just been to the European Pokémon Championships in London, where there were players from everywhere to play the card game, the Pokémon Scarlet and Violet video game, PokémonGO, and Pokémon Unite. It was a great weekend with a good show of teams, sportsmanship, and general good humor and excellent atmosphere. But now it's time to relax and get away from the noise and the crowds. Hello, and welcome to the Pokémon Center. I am Nurse Joy. I'm here to take care of you and your Pokémon and give you some refreshment and respite and relaxation from the stresses of the outside world, of battling, be it in Pokégyms, in trainer battles, in exploring, or just being around everyday stresses and pressures. I see you have a Pokémon. This Pokémon needs some special enticement to come out from its protective home in the Pokeball. Shall we take care of this little one for you? A Leafeon. Look at that. What a pretty little Pokemon this is. This Leafeon is a fox-like creature. One of the sylvan Pokemons, or ones that live in the forest. It's very soft and yellow fur with brown paws and leaf-like leaves, ears, and a leaf-like tail, and large brown eyes. This is a very peaceful Pokemon. It lives in lush, quiet forests with clear flowing rivers and streams. Sometimes I need a bit of a relaxing time as well. That's why this is the perfect place to come for a little peace and quiet, which is exactly what this Leafeon needs. You can see Leafeon's leaf-like tail, which is actually very sharp and can cut through trees. And if need be, Leafeon can use this tail for battle. The Pokédex says that Leafeon's cellular structure is similar to plants, which allows this little Pokémon to perform photosynthesis and purify the air around it, getting energy by sleeping in the sunlight in little dapple-lit groves in the forest. Leafeon is said to have been found frequently in the Galar region. Some say that Galar is very similar to Wales and parts of England, and perhaps Scotland as well. We can imagine some of the forests there, the lush, green, cool, damp forests where this little creature enjoys running around. This sharp tail is exactly like a sword. If Leafeon needs to, it can cut down trees with the tail I told you that was sharp. Some say that it can cut down a tree with one large swoop, the sharpness of this tail exceeding that of a master-crafted sword. So a Leafeon can defend itself if need be. But when it's calm and at peace, it smells like freshly fallen rain on grass, fresh new leaves that have just fallen to the cool forest floor, or like ferns in a glade. We'll take care of this Pokemon. We'll give it some very, very soft brushing. Let's see if I can. We have a special brush here that I got from the Kalos region. It's like an egg. It almost looks like a Pokemon egg. And it has very soft bristles. Let's take care of this Leafeon. And you can hear some sounds from outside, but they won't bother us. We're going to be in this calm, bubbly area. Leafeon needs some quiet, gentle care. Its fur is very soft. We've seen Leafeon a few times in the Pokemon series. This is a form that is taken by an Eevee. So the Leafeon has some relations in Vaporeon, Umbreon, Sylveon, and several others that are different types of Eevee. this little one that you have here is particularly quiet and thoughtful. I think it just needs some peace to recharge. But now that we've brushed its fur, let's see if we can do something about its leafy ears and tail. I have just the thing. And this. Do you hear that? That is a fern-scented water. It's green and it has a soft forest floor fern scent. And this will revive the moisture in Leafeon's leafy ears and tail. Can you hear the leaves rustling? Shh, 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 shh. In the wind, in the tops of the trees in the forest. It's a very nice place to have a relaxing rest, to put your mind at peace, and to have a little place of your own to go where no one can pester you and no one will find you unless you want to be found. Lying in a cool glade, listening to the wind in the leaves, listening to the bubbling brook nearby, and letting time stand still. Let's let this little Leafeon sleep. And you can take a little rest as well. Just there is our trainer area where trainers can relax and watch very quiet gameplay while you disengage from the rest of the world. When your Leafeon has rested and is ready to go back in its Pokeball, I'll let you know. But for now, Leafeon will rest and you will have this lovely, peaceful, quiet trainer relaxation. And here we are at the European Pokemon Championships in London. You can see all the Pokemon gyms, and there I am with my buddy. It's a quillfish. Not sure if it's an Alolan quillfish. And there you can see the Thames. And this is the XL Center with all the Pokegyms set up for the championship games. There's the championship spin. Pop. And here you can see in one gym there's a Landorus there. 47,000 plus points. And a yellow gym there. So I'm going to place my Vaporeon in that gym. And I've got a gym badge for that. And there's my Vaporeon there with compatriots defending this gym at the Excel Center. We'll see how long Vaporeon can stay in there and keep the gym for the team. Look at all the gyms all around. Red, blue, all the teams, and we've got some sea creatures there for being at the side of the gyms. I'm going to have a look at Pikipek now. So I've just got a Pikipek, and I would love to evolve my Trumbeak into a Toucanon. So let's do that now. And here we are with my very first Toucanon. Isn't he lovely? With his long beak and his colorful plumage. I've been waiting to get one of these for some time. It's a very nice looking Pokemon there. And perfect for the Paldean region in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And now having another look round, you can see I've changed into the Scarlet and Violet Paldean region uniform, and Toucanon is now my buddy, flying around, and we can see someone's got a Dragonite there, and quite a few very strong Pokemon taking over the gyms. And looking around, there's a Spheal dancing there, and an egg over the gym there. There's going to be a raid battle there happening soon. And there's our Pokemon Championship medallion once again. A lot happening in the Pokémon Center, and there's the Play Lab token. So the Play Lab is where you can go to improve your game, whether it's the trading cards, the video game, Pokemon Go, or even Pokemon Unite. So we'll just take a look now at some of the Pokemon I've caught and evolved and powered up over the last year, different places I've been. And here you can see one of my buddies, Lantern. And there he is, becoming a buddy and walking around there. See what kind of Pokemon. I'm not exactly a Pokemon Go expert, but I do enjoy playing. And there we have Blitzel. Blitzel, little zebra-like Pokemon. And I'm going to evolve Blitzel. And here we go with a nice big flash, a ball of light, of joy and happiness, and we get whoosh, a Zebstrika. Look at that. Added, registered in the Pokedex, Zebstrika or Zebstrika. An interesting little aside in the European Championships about how to pronounce different Pokemon names, and sometimes there's no consensus, whereas other times there seems to be a correct way to do it. But there's the little Blitzel and the Zebstrika. There we have. With the little lightning bolts, and powering up the Zebstrika to CP493. So I do keep some Pokemon below 1500, which allows them to go in some battles. And there you can see my Ludicolo in the gym, which I placed there. And there's some of my Pokemon that are over 1500. And those are the ones I'll place in the gym. So you can see a Hoppip there. And we're looking at this spinning little plant figure. And the evolve of the Hoppip is the Skiploom. Funny little Pokemon. These ones float. And the Skiploom has a little spinny flower on its head. Yes. And transferring one of the Hoppips. Always try to keep enough room for Pokemon. Here are some of the Eevees and the different kinds of Eevees I had at that time. Looks like I didn't yet have a few of the types. Got Vaporeon, Leafeon, Glaceon, Jolteon, Flareon. And now I've got the Umbreon as well, and Sylveon. And I've just transferred a few Eevees there. And there are some more of my little ones. Lillipup, Herdier, and Stoutland. So here I'm going to transfer a few Lillipups. And there's one of each evolve there. And there you can see I've got my Herdier for some battles. And here we're looking at the Starly and Staravia. So transferring one of these Starly, and looks like there's some Pokemon there, and we're looking at the Abra. And this looks like a good candidate for evolution there. The Abra. As you can see, I've got two of them, both below 1500. So I usually evolve the lowest of the two, but it looks like I've chosen the higher of the two to evolve. And this interesting, almost psychic type Pokemon into Kadabra with a spoon. The spoon kind of reminds me of the Matrix type of psychic power. Although in the Matrix it wasn't exactly psychic, was it? And this big squirrely tail on the end of it. Very weird looking Pokemon. Look at that. I think the naming of these Pokemon is very intriguing. It must be a fun job to have, to think up names for them. Use your linguistic skills, knowledge of different things. And here it looks like I'm going to use this special gem to evolve this lantern into a chandelier. Look at that, so nice purple chandelier registered to the Pokédex to light up all the dark corners. And a Minccino. This was my very first buddy. He will use a special gem to evolve this Minccino. So here goes my first buddy, Minccino, evolving into Chichino. Look at that. There he is. Very furry, with a long fur that goes around his neck because it's so long. Chinchino, sorry. Talk to me about pronunciation as well. There's the Chinchino Pokemon with a nice Aqua Tail, 50 point damage there. And here we are back in the rainy street and looking at some more Pokemon that I've got here. Quite a few there. The Onix, Quagsire, Steelix, lots of evolves. A Pupitar, look at that. Cubone or Cubone. His little skull helmet and bone. I don't know what you would call that, a cudgel, I suppose. Maybe that's why it's a Cubone, a Cubone, a cudgel. And the Numel. I've had this Numel for a while. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't know why, I just like the way it looks. It's a funny little thing. There's another Numel. And I think I'm going to evolve this one into the next weird creature that Numel evolves into. And let's have a look there. Look at that. That is a Camerupt. So something like a camel, but not very like a camel. A camel, volcano, cow, hippopotamus, Pokemon. There we are. Ah, the Nutsleaf. This one is really cute. I love this one. It's evolved from Seedot. And it sort of looks like an acorn man. I like his little nose and the leaf sticking out of his head. And I'm going to evolve this Nutsleaf here. Involving that little fighting acorn man into a bigger fighting tree acorn little thing called a shift tree. Look at that. It's like something like a sumo wrestler on those elevated shoes with fans for hands, leaves. And you can see I've got a star on that one because it's one of my favorite Pokemon as well. I like all the little Nutleaf. And like the Leafeon, it's got a razor leaf attack as well. And some more of the Pokemon. There are 3 different Quillfish there. One of the the Raichu as well. The Alolan Quillfish. And there is a Rowlet. This was one of Ash's first pet Pokemon in his backpack. And here we're going to evolve the little Rowlet. The little Rowlet going poof. Oh, look at that. Very cute. Almost like a Beatrix Potter, a Dartrix. Registered to the Pokédex there with a CP of 938. Grass and flying type Pokemon. It's a little owl with a green feather over its eyes. And almost smiling. A Dartrix. Have not yet evolved that Dartrix. That will be a future endeavor. And some more Pokemon. A Sealo. There's the Seedot. And a Rufflet. This one is a very weird looking little bird. The Rufflet. There's a Sewaddle. A Shelmet. Skarmory. Skitty. A Skunktank. Skrelp. Squovit, and a Shuppet. This one's popular around Halloween. Legend has it that the Shuppet Pokemon evolved from a toy that lay broken and forgotten in a child's room and got very angry, and this frustration and anger of not being played with and being forgotten led it to become a Pokemon. And here is a Spearow. I think I've got all of the evolves of that. A Squirtle, and this one has sunglasses on it because it was acquired during an event. So it's got a special event card with it. You can see I've got a shiny Stuffle, a Swampert, Tangela, Tepig, Tentacool. Look at that. That's a very unsettling looking one. The Tentacool and the Tentacruel. I don't think I'd like to see those. Oh, Totodile. Now he's very cute. Of our Kanto buddies, I believe. I'm sure Pokemon fans will correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not the Pokemon authority, but I do love them so much. Dynamo. He's tiny and he's electric. Oh, look at the Vibravia, or Vibrava, Volbeat, and there's the Vibrava there. And my Venusaur, which I've got Mega Evolve on. The Wurmple with the party hat. That was another event. Lots of fun, that one. And a Zigzagoon. You'll notice this one is black and white Zigzagoon as opposed to the brown and white. So, an Alolan type Zigzagoon. And a Timpole. And here we're going to evolve this little tadpole Pokemon. You can see his little blue tail. He looks very happy. And I think his evolve looks a little bit toad-like rather than frog-like. A Palpitoad. And so his name tells us as well. He still looks quite happy though. A fat and happy toad with blobs on him. Water and ground type. And there are the Quillfish again, a Duododo, a Whismur. It looks like a Wingmer. The evolve is also a bit weird, so one of the weirder Pokemon. Let's evolve that into something strange. And there it is. Odd Loudred. We don't want that when we're trying to relax. A Loudred. Do you have a Loudred as a neighbor? Maybe it might be time to put them in their Pokeball. And here we've got the Fletchlings and a Fletchinder. And here it looks like I'm at the marina with my Lantern buddy. And there's a few Pokemon around there. Some odd little bug ones. So this must have been last summer. And you can see I'm wearing a Lapras t-shirt from the Lapras event several years ago. So I think what we're going to do here is evolve one of the Fletchling line, the Fletchinder. So a nice little flying type. We're going to evolve that into... There we go. And his call into the... Look at that, a Talonflame. It's a very formidable bird of prey type Pokemon. Look at that, with a hurricane attack that does 110 damage and a fire spin, so a fire and flying type there. The Talonflame. So that one is well over 1500 CP. So let's get a Fletchling into a Fletchinder, so that I can still use that for certain 1500 limit battles. Fletchinder. There we are. And that is 1237. Nice little electric flying type. Sorry, fire flying type. Firefly. And there's Fletchling, Fletchinder, and Talonflame. And another bird, the Pikipek. Pikipek. I love Pikipeks. And there's the evolve of a Pikipek, a Trumbeak. And as you can see, this was before I was able to get my Toucannon. And there is a Voltorb. And we'll evolve that. And I think I've got several versions of Voltorb there. And the super electric Electrode. With his big smile. And there's the Electrode, 1289. Nice. There we are, the Electrodes and the two types of Voltorbs. Good good CP for battling. Yeah. I'm going to transfer one of the Volt Orbs there and one of the Electrodes. Power up. There we are. 1458. Perfect. So I like to keep a good amount of them. Now there's the Zigzagoons in the Lino Tone or Lino 1. Again, a pronunciation conundrum. Lino 1. Lino 1. And the two Zigzagoons. They were really funny in the Pokemon series, if you saw that. The Zigzagoon. And they were powering up this Evolve. It looks sort of like a raccoon badger. Very nice little Pokemon. There's a Poplio. And what else do we have? A Shuppet and a Bennett. Bennett's over the limit for 1500 CP, but luckily there are different leagues. We're going to transfer one of the Shuppets, and there's the Bennett. And here we are back at the marina, and looks like a Caterpie or Caterpie. I think it's Caterpie and a Wurmple right next to each other. So let's catch that one with a regular Pokeball. Looks like the spin is getting away from it a bit. And now we've got the Caterpie. The little green caterpillar with the orange antennae. And a Weedle, not a Wurmple. The Wurmple has the party hat. The Weedle has a permanent party hat. Little Weevil. And we've got that one with the first Pokeball. And a Weedle there. And you can see a gym in the background and Hoppip and my Lantern Buddy swimming around. So it looks like it was possibly either too windy or too rainy to go out, so I'm sitting there at the marina office and there's a gym with a bomb of snow. Having a look at that gym there, seeing what can be done. And another gym over there. And that looks, some interesting creatures there. Look at that. Snorlax. I've been able to place my Snorlax in a few gyms from time to time. There's my Snorlax and Hariyama, all of my really high ones there, and another gym. And there I've put the Ludicolo in that gym that you saw earlier. And some bird types, Hoppip, and a little Starly as well, and an Eevee. Looks like we're going to catch the wild Starly with a pineapple berry. So it's got a CP of 69, and I'm going to use special ball to catch this Starly. Why I used that ball, I don't know. But we've caught the Starly, and we get some extra candy points. Starly candy from the pineapple berry. And there's my Ludicolo in the gym. And it looks like some more sea creatures, a Spheal behind me there, and an Eevee next to the Hoppip, and a Lillipup. And it looks like a Marill as well, one of those mouse ones. Let's catch the Lillipup. There's a pineapple berry. Let's see if this pineapple berry works this time. Put a spin on the ball and there we are. And there's the pineapple berries going into Lillipup candy. a Swablu. It just disappeared. And let's catch an Eevee for some more Eevee types. Give a pineapple berry and a regular Pokeball. Up, the Eevee's hopping. Have to wait. I'm a bit too fast here. Just slow down and be patient. The Pokemon will come to you. There they are. We've got an Eevee. And Eevee candy. 6 Eevee candy there. And there's the Ludicolo dancing in the gym. All alone. I think that's a very funny. Probably why is Ludicolo? Ludi being a play on words for exactly that, a play, or ludicrous, which also comes from the same root. And here we've got a Hoppip. Give this one a pineapple berry as well, even though we've already got this evolved, so we don't need really to evolve it. Just powering up. And there we are. A nice throw for the floating Hoppip. And the Hoppip is caught. And there's the Ludicolo dancing again in the gym. And here we are at the boat. And there is a Wurmple there. As well as my buddy, the Lantern. And here we are on another street. And we've got some interesting Pokemon there. Look at that. And Team Rocket has one of the Pokestops. Looking at the alphabetic, we've got Apom there. Boltoy. Funny little one. Barboach, Basculin, Beautyfly, Bayleaf, Bulbasaur, Buneary, Bunnelby, Burmy, some Chanseys, like we saw in the gym, Charizard, Chirim, Cherubi, Chespin, Chikorita. Looking at the Chespin, I'm going to evolve this. So the Chespin evolve is much more intimidating looking than this cute little creature. From the Kanto region. But he also has a funny little nose, a Quilladin. So he's got quills and he's a little man, a Quilladin. And a funny little tail, look at that. Yes. So that one will probably battle well if I can power that up a bit. A little grass type Pokemon. And powering it up a little. No, maybe later. There's the Chimchar. And Combuskin, that is a weird one. The chicken one, a Cryogonal, I love that one. I haven't shown you the Phalanx here, but it's another one of my favorite Pokemon. Deerling, Delicati, Doduo, and the Drowsy, probably friends with the Snorlax, Electabuzz, a funny one, LGM, and Execute and Executor. There's the Phalanx. I love that Phalanx. Farfetch'd. Now there's a funny one from the Sword and Shield region. Or, not region shall I say, but the Sword and Shield Pokemon. Fomantis, Floatzel, Furret, Furfrou. Got several different types of Furfrou or styles. The Gilgar and the Goldeen. I've only just got a Sea King, so you won't see that on this one. The Grovyle, or Groville, and the Hariyama. So, another look at the Goldeen. Yep, blub blub, the bubbles. I do like the bubbles. I think the Goldeen likes the bubbles as well. See it floating there in the blue. And a Grubbin. And a Growlithe, And there's that Groville, or Grovile. If you have a particular preferred pronunciation for that, do let me know. Helioptile, Hoot Hoot Ivysaur, so the second evolve of, or the first evolve of Bulbasaur. Here's a Horsea, and I don't remember if I have a Sea King yet. There's a Clang. I evolved that, and I no longer have the basic for that. And there's my buddy, my Lantern. Cute little fish type. Always looks very happy, unlike the Shuppet. There's my Lapras. Yes, that one was my favorite for the longest time. Still have a soft spot for Lapras. Look at his 130 damage Blizzard. Look at all of these funny little Pokemon. A Litten, I like that one. The Litten. Another look at the Lapras. A Lileep. Lopunny. That's the evolve there of the Baneri. Yeah. From here it can only Mega Evolve. Funny looking rabbit. Link Rock or Lichen Rock. Magikarp. Still waiting for my 400 to evolve that Magikarp. I'm almost there now. Some interesting Mantini and Mantike. These are nice sea creature-y Pokemon. How they just float. Floating in the blue-green. I find something very serene about that. And there's a Mightyena, a Meowth, and the Marowak. I particularly like this Marowak. It's got green fire baton, or green fire stick. And a very interesting name as well. A Miltank. I always wanted to call that a milk tank. The Mime Jr. My Minccino. My little buddies. I like those little guys. They're just really cute and fluffy. Munchlax. And Nidoran and Nidorina. Different kinds of those little rat Pokemon with big ears. Nosepass. And the Numel. I don't know what it is about this Numel. It just looks so unbothered by anything around it. Just really serene. Omanyte. So, a good play on words there. And reminds you a bit of a Nautilus, doesn't it? There's the Oricorio. That one, I think, is another one that is perfect for the Paldean region. And the Oranguru. Very colorful one, but another one that just kind of sits there peacefully and lets the world revolve around it. A shiny Oshawott. A sparkly Oshawott there. I think when I first got a lot of these Pokemon, I wasn't sure how to go about doing things with them, and I probably should have kept some that I didn't, or got rid of some that I kept. But I did eventually evolve the Oshawott. I've got Pansage, Pampour, Pansear there, and the Parasect. Looking at the Dewott, the evolve of Oshawott there, which looks like sort of an Asian fighting otter. Arbok. And going back down, Marowak, Nidorina, Octillery. I like that one. I don't know why I'm drawn to the sea creatures. Look at all the Pikachus. I've got so many Pikachus. Pidgeotto, Pidove, and a Pichu. That's the basic. Pikachu is actually a basic, so I guess Pichu comes before Pikachu, and then it evolves into Raichu. which I have one as well. But look at all the Pikachus. This one is floating on balloons. I thought this was so cute when I got that. An electric type mouse Pokemon. There's a Pikachu with a Mimikyu hat on. Pineco, Piplup. Little Piplup. I now have the Empoleon as well as the Prinplup, and that Prinplup there that has a hat for another event. Porygon and Popplio, Psyduck. Let's see what we're looking for here. All of the Piplup ones, and we're back at A. There's the Piplups. So going all the way back down to where we left off at Poochyena. There's a Christmas Piplup there with a Christmas hat. And Ponyta. I think I've since evolved my Ponyta into a Rapidash. That's a fire type in there. We're looking at Piplup some more. And a Plusle. All the little hats. And it looks like we're going to evolve this Piplup into a Prinplup after much deliberation. And there we have a Prinplup. Looks much more serious than the Prinplup. And we are added to the Pokédex 1123 Seeply. Looks like a very big penguin there with a tuxedo. A penguin suit. And there's Poochyena, Porygon, Purugly, Pupitar, Quagsire, and Quillfish, Raichu there. There's the one that became my buddy later on, the Quillfish. And here we are back in the summertime, as you can see by the apparel, and with a few Pokestops, and the highest CP ranking and the latest got the Solrock Lillipup. Look at all the Lillipups. And one Herdier and one Stoutland. So I think it's time to transfer some of these. Looks like I'm going to transfer almost all the Lillipups to power up something. Power up the Stoutland. I don't know if you remember seeing one of the later Pokemon series where the Stoutland was there in an abandoned cottage being taken care of by another Pokemon because he was old. It was really sweet, friendship. I love how Pokemon embodies the loyalty of friendship and how we can bring out the best in each other. And here's the Lunatone. Looks like I'm going to transfer one of those. That was one of my very first ones I would leave in gyms. But as you can see, I don't have as high-ranking Pokemon as people have been really good at playing it. I'm no expert, but I do enjoy it. It's a very nice pastime if it's rainy, you're on the bus or something like that. There's a story behind everything, and clever thought goes behind it as well. And we're going to transfer one of the fletchlings there. And you can see the two that we evolved earlier, the Talonflame and whoosh, beautiful flyer there, bird of prey. And the Zangoose. Get a lot of those for Christmas. Zangoose. There we are. The red and white Pokemon. It's like a giant mongoose. Next, we're looking at possibly a Burmy or a Sunkern. There we are. And the Abracadabra. And you can see some of the ones that I'd caught. I like the Burmy. The Burmy has some interesting evolves depending on the color. And all of the Zigzagoons. So transfer some Zigzagoons. So after we do this sorting out, we'll probably catch some more and power it up our Badger Lino one. Yeah. And we've got a Trico there. Look at those Grimers. Putting grime and globules everywhere. Looking at Chikorita and Bayleaf. So I don't know if I can. Not quite enough yet. Since this video was made, I have evolved my Bayleaf into a Meganium, which is really beautiful. And some of the dirigible Pokemon, the Drifblim and the Drifloon. I'll transfer that Drifblim there. As you can see, I've just transferred out one I could have used in a 1500 limit battle. Stunfisk, and transfer that one. A few more Swinub in there. Cyndaquil, you can see we've got a couple of those. Transfer the Cyndaquil. And look, more Lunatones. So probably time to transfer some of those. And there we go. The Lunatones have been transferred. And now we'll look at these bird ones, the Pick-a-Peck. Still not enough for the Toucanon. And looking at the Zigzagoons again, cleaning up the Pokedex. And there we have, at night, a couple of interesting little creatures, the Stuffles. So catching a Stuffle here. Curveball that got away. There we are. Caught a Stuffle. Look at that little Furret back there. I think we'll catch a Furret. Cute little thing. I think he could play with that Lino one. Furret. Got him in the ball. And he's come out. One more try there. And he's come out again. And fled. So no chance for the Furret tonight. Have another look at Stuffle. And there's a shiny one. Can we evolve that? No. I do have an evolve of that now, though. So catching another Stuffle with a pineapple berry. Again, the curveball that got away and taking no chances here with an Ultra Ball. Yep, and there we have it. The Stuffle in a ball. All quiet, and here we are. I've I've got a new buddy for the winter, the Ninetales. Isn't that a beautiful Alolan Ninetales with its snow coat and billowing in the wind, its mane there, white mane. And here we're getting a Pick-a-Peck with a pineapple berry, gradually getting some more points for that Toucannon. And there's the Pick-a-Peck with the candies, the Pick-a-Peck candy. And we have a Skitty, and it looks like a Bunnelby. And another Numel. So you can see I was really, really trying for that Toucannon. Another look at the Pick-a-Pecks. And transferring the Pick-a-Pecks. And there's the Trumbeak. So, softly, softly, catchy Toucannon. And here are the Eevees. What Eevees did I have at this time? Almost. I've got the Espeon and Sylveon there. Glaceon, Vaporeon, Leafeon. And the Eevee with the Christmas hat. Jolteon, Flareon. And what are we going to do with this one? Let's have a look at the Eevees now. There we are, it's little Foxtail and Foxruff. Looking at the Espeon, the Psychic type Eevee. Sylveon, the Fairy type, with its flowing fur. Vaporeon, the Water type Pokemon, or Water type Eevee. That with its fish tail. Looks very formidable. Leafeon there, with its beautiful leafy tail and ears. Look at that. It's a very peaceful Pokemon. And Glaceon, again, very serene, very quiet ice type. Cool, calm, and collected. And Jolteon. I think that speaks for itself. The electric type Eevee. 20 points there. Flareon, fire type Eevee. And I don't think at this point I yet had an Umbreon. But I've got one now. Transferring a few Eevees, and there's a Magikarp, Kecleon, and have a look at the Ponyta, the Fire Horse, and have some good amount of points there. So I think I'm going to evolve that, not today. And Kecleon. A Sucker Punch attack there and Flamethrower that does 70 damage. Very cute little gecko. The Bergmite. The Sneasel. Look at that Sneasel. It's got a bird tail and it's kind of a cat weasel. A funny little one. And there's the Empoleon. And Piplup again. Again, we've got Piplup. With all the hats. Yes, we've seen that before. Yes. Okay. And Empoleon. There we are. Very nice suit of blue with a tie and a frilly shirt and sort of a Neptune Triton helmet. The Dedenne, or Deden, and Bagon, a Dratini that I've already evolved I have an evolve of that one, the Dragonair. Almost looks, it looks very graceful, but almost like a rattle on the end of its tail. And you can see it's got Iron Tail and Aqua Tail attacks. Very graceful looking Pokemon there. And there is a Lotad. I think those are cute. The little sort of a Paldean creature, I think. Does remind me of South America. With those giant lily pads that you can actually stand on and sit on. And there we have some more Snorunt. Look at that. Shivering there. That one actually reminds me of some garden furniture. That Snorunt. Little teepee-shaped things that people sit in outside. Or on the beach. But that's not made out of straw. That's his actual cloak. And a Weedle again. A little Weedle. Weedle, Weedle, Weedle. And we've got the Weedle with a curveball. And there's our Weedle. And have a look around there. A sock. And there's a Trico now. Catching a Trico with a pineapple berry. Oops, missed the spin on that ball. And there's the spin. You can see the sparkles coming off of it, and we have got the Trico. With 6 Trico candies. And that evolves into the Grovel. And Mudkip there. And one of those little fire chicken Pokemon, a Torchic. Should catch a Torchic. Poof. In the ball. And we've got a Torchic. With 3 Torchic candies. The evolve being the Combuskin. And I have some more Pokemon popping up there. Some Mudkip that we'll look at. And the Mudkip is broken free from the ball. So trying again with a curveball. And now the Mudkip is broken free. I'm afraid this one might flee. But I haven't used a berry. Probably no patience there, throwing another ball right away, and the Mudkip is caught. And there we have it, a Mudkip. And with a dig that does 100 damage. Funny little creature there. Rightly named. Have a look at what we've got. A Swampert and oh, look at that. Looking at the Swampert, the second evolve, and the Marshtomp, the first evolve of the Mudkip. Now I've got a Grottle as well. And looking at the Torchic and the Combuskin. And here we have another Hoppip with a pineapple berry. No idea why I was obsessed with Hoppips at that time. But there we have a Hoppip caught with a nice curveball. And throw with 6 Hoppip candies. And there we have the ice cream Pokemon, the Vanillite. Just reminds me of one of those shapes on top of the ice cream truck that comes by with the music. And there's a Vanillite, an ice type Pokemon. Powder Snow and Icy Wind attacks for that one. And there are the two Vanillites. And not quite enough for an evolve at this point. So having a look at the Hoppips again. And a Skiploom. So is it time to evolve the Skiploom? Possibly. That's probably why I was after all the Hoppips at that point. But not evolving that, looking at the Togedemaru. A little funny little mouse Pokemon. Or a vole. Could be a Daegu. And the Pikipek once again. And there's the Pikipek, little bitty woodpecker. Little red crested woodpecker Pokemon. And the Goomy, a funny little dragon type Pokemon. So I haven't evolved that one yet either. But I like the background there. It's like Goomy's a microscopic creature because the background's so blurry. That's what it reminds me of anyway. And a Zebstrika, which we evolved earlier. The lightning bolts going there. Lightning bolt on its fur, the lightning pattern. Very electric there. An electric zebra. And an Eevee and a P-Dove on this particular street when it's snowing. It has been a long winter, and this is probably during it when it was once again snowing. And there's a raid egg over at one of the Pokegyms and what looks like a Dragonite. I'm catching an Eevee. Yep. There we are, we've got an Eevee in the snow. I think this is the one that became my Umbreon later, if I remember correctly. Looking at the possibility of changing that, it didn't do it at that point. I'm going to look at those, at the Eevees, and the different Eevee types. Cute little Pokemon. It's nice when they come with special event Pokemon, little event things, raid passes and things like that. And here we are with a Petal, spinning around, giving it a pineapple berry, and using a spin ball there, curve ball. And the petals coming out. And I've got another throw. Mr. Dog behind me is digging on his blanket, trying to bunch it up so it's comfortable while we're trying to catch this petal. So you might be able to hear that. Might hear some scraping sounds as he arranges his bed. And it looks like we're going to use a great ball for this. And still coming out after the berries and the ball. And again, we've gone to the next. There we are. We have caught the petal. And here we are with a Whalmer, and this looks to be after the European Championships because I've got my Paldean uniform on in there. Catching a Whalmer. The curveball, fast throw. And there you can see the Toucanon as a buddy and looking at a Squirtle. Pineapple berry for the Squirtle. Curveball, nicely thrown. And there's the Squirtle popping right out. Another pineapple berry. And that is not an Ultra Ball, which I've been calling Ultra Ball. Sorry about that. And he is not wanting to stay in that ball. So, one more time. Curveball. Nice throw. He's popped out. Is he going to run away? Yes. The Squirtle fled. No matter. I'm going to have a look now at claiming some rewards, and there's a Drillbur for an reward. And have we got the reward Drillbur? Yes, we have. There's the Drillbur. I'm looking around. Very quiet. Very quiet on the street there. Have a look at all the Pokemon recently caught. How many Whalmers do we have? Look at all those Whalmers. So, not quite enough for a Wailord. Not nearly. But getting there little by little. Petals. Lilligant. Look at all the petals. And transferring some petals. Looks like we've got a fungus. Drillbur there. The Drifloon and the Drifblim. And what are we going to look at next? The Drillbur. And not quite enough for an evolve on that Drillbur. But are we going to evolve this fungus? I think so. And Amoonguss did quite well at the championships in the Pokemon Unite competition. So let's make this fungus into an Amoonguss. There we have it. An evolved fungus, Amoonguss. Funny little mushroom Pokemon. Almost like Toad in Mario Kart, isn't it? It is a Nintendo game there. And then we have the two fungus. Transfer one of them and look at the Zorua. I love catching those because you never know what they're masquerading as. And all is quiet in the night. Did you enjoy your time in the trainer lounge? I hope you're nice and relaxed and recharged. Your Leafeon has rested well and is ready again to go into the world and function optimally with calm and cool mind and a full spirit. Shall I put your Leafeon back in the Pokeball for you? Okay. There you are. All ready to go. have a beautiful day and be extraordinary.